affecting him much, or even the lower back. Although there's the stretch, we'll see after some tough points, he does that lean forward for the lower back. Best of 7, Fang Bo to start with the serve, love all.
Left, love all.
And a risky serve to start it off, fast and long into the backhand right at the baseline of the table to take the first point. ZHANG Jike has shown quite impressive reaction time on the fast long serves against other opponents throughout this tournament.
Fabulous first third ball from Fang Bo. Really getting onto that quickly. Watch this. Look how he backpedals and then just crunches. Most people would be spilling their weight backwards on that one.
And he breaks the first serve of ZHANG Jike. Right now on the backhand corner, Fang Bo very strong, comfortable to get around the ball. We're going to have to imagine ZHANG Jike is going to change up his placement a bit, not only on serve, but on third ball. And that's the first error we've seen from Fang Bo. Over the table with the backhand modern receive, goes for the flip. Edge tape, another one of the rituals for ZHANG Jike. You'll constantly see him between points. It's maybe where he goes to for peace of mind, to relax.
Constantly playing with the rubber.
It's a big shot again from Fang in the backhand corner, but a little bit surprising. It seemed like with the time, the distance from the table and the time ZHANG Jike had to counter, he's made that shot time and time again, even in this tournament alone. I think he's going to be zeroing in on that.
Left, 4-1.
Caught the back edge, Fang Bo. We'll see. ZHANG Jike confirms it.
1-5.
Not usually much question. Very faint edge. Rocket power. And it's even tougher to tell when it catches a leg right after and the trajectory of the ball barely changes as it passes the edge.
Well said. Good start from Fang Bo. He's very much on the front foot, bringing it, which is what he needs to do, of course, against the more experienced veteran of the Chinese pack, if you will, ZHANG Jike at 27 years old.
It's rare that we hear the audience cheering through the point completely, usually stopping at the point of serve, more of a courtesy thing. I think ZHANG Jike's game is going to be changing a little bit, clearly, but on the blocks, he's just being a little bit more passive to start, playing him a little softer than usual. An unusual way to win a point. A tomahawk-style chop block out to the forehand. After a lot of passive blocks, that one had a little bit of forward on it. And this ball, not a lot of top spin at all, just straight side spin, forcing Fang to have to lift on his own.
He's quite passive in his body language, ZHANG Jike at the moment. Opting for sort of short play and nothing too explosive so far.
It's funny, he's like the sleeping giant. Sometimes when he gets woken up, like you don't want to make him angry.
Yes.
The ITTF Awards, they did a Hulk comparison.
Yes, he might rip his shirt off.
Or kick through a barrier, jump a barrier, who knows?
That's right.
All sorts of awesome things could happen with ZHANG Jike.
He seems to really suppress his emotions well. Very difficult man to read. As you say, playing with the edge tape there.
That's right, all the emotions build up inside until the moment he can release the pressure.
And the lion will roar.
And while we got to see a little bit more of the counter looping on the run, it still seems like ZHANG Jike at 70% right now.
Yes, a very timid, sort of tepid start from him. Head-to-head suggests they haven't played before, which might be why ZHANG Jike is a little tense. Surely knows what to expect, though, Adam.
Well, you have to imagine. I mean, the head-to-head records are also for Pro Tour events, ITTF official tournaments. They must have played several times in Chinese Super League practice matches. Fang Bo now with 7 game points in the first. And despite a fast exchange, backhand to backhand, opening up the forehand side, causing a little trouble off the top of the net for Fang Bo. Now Zhang Jike, after saving 1 game point, has 6 more to go before deuce.
5, 10.
To start. Opening backhand over the table on the forehand side from Fang Bo in the first game. 11 points to 5 for the underdog, the world ranked 14 Fang Bo. Stick around because game 2 is coming up just after this. And we're back for game 2. Fang Bo dominant in the first game, 11 points to 5. Again, Paul, you know, it's just a question of when Zhang Jike really wakes up and turns it on. Even if Fang Bo were to take this game right here, there's still a question of, is it enough?
That's how I feel as well. The sleeping giant, when he rouses, there's going to be trouble. There might be a backlash this game, one would imagine.
Seems a little bit like more spring in his step on Zhang Jike's side. Even in the first point, right off the bounce, a little poppier, a little snappier with the wrist. Merciless shots from Fang Bo. The point looked like it was over for sure, and he gets all the way down on the forehand side, coming back right at the body there. Just outstanding play, and it right on the white of the line from that shot. Fang Bo really showing that he will not lie down. This man is working for every single shot in this match. But again, the precision and control of Zhang Jike still looking very calm.
Yeah, Fang Bo is high intensity, sort of right up there, reeling around in top gear already, 5 out of 5. And you feel that Zhang is just yet to really rouse himself. You know, he's just cruising steady.
And whether it's a question of motivation or what it may be, you can't really afford to let it go too far. We've seen many throughout the year tournaments where Zhang Jike is playing players that you would expect him to beat no problem. But if the other, you know, the other player has a big lead, sometimes it only takes 1 or 2 lucky shots and then it's over.
He's got to be careful he doesn't get stifled by scoreboard pressure. Absolutely.
Right there in that point, Fang Bo was stepping around completely fooled and still able to recover, not just reach the ball, but get a powerful shot back. Very impressed with the play of Fang Bo right now.
Perhaps Zhang Jike is a little tense. Might be resulting in this slow start.
Yeah, pressure can get to anybody. He usually responds to it better than anybody in the world.
He's the go-to man for the Chinese team, isn't he?
When the spotlight is on, he performs.
Yep. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. But I'm sure we've not seen the end of him yet. He's very tenacious.
Right, it's still very early in the match.
But Fang's still got 2 serves here as well. Oh, beautiful backhand return. Just finding the edge of the table.
It's a risky serve, fast and long into the backhand. The placement's great on that. Fang Bo has made that shot about 3 times already this match. He gets to the ball, just misses the contact. Don't forget, you can submit your questions. Hashtag #AskTheCommentator on Twitter. 2 shots in that rally reminded me of the Zhang Jike we've seen when it gets tight. The backhand where you could hear the crack on the ball, he just snapped through it. And then the follow-up forehand seemed a little bit faster, more like an 8 out of 10 for Zhang Jike.
Yeah, I'd go with that. I'd go with that. That was a lot more positive, wasn't it?
Definitely. So tied up the last 2 points. Zhang Jike has taken. Now he has a serve, chance to take the lead.
Terrific off backhand flick on the receive from Fang.
And it looked like Fang Bo was expecting a serve short to the forehand side, was getting ready to come in and take the backhand over the table. When the ball was hit behind him deep on the backhand, he had to recover. Couldn't get a lot of power, set up for the shot. It's very interesting to see who the crowd supports in what situations. Heard a lot of cheering for Zhang Jike. Of course, a major celebrity here in China. Posters all over. You can see commercials of him doing crazy things in the desert on the top of the Burj Khalifa. Maybe not the Burj Khalifa, the one with the helicopter pad in Dubai. Burj Al Araj, maybe?
Let
I wish I could help.
5-0.
Deadlock then, second game. Fang Bo a game to the good.
There we go. Fang Bo bringing a huge forehand, and we got the Zhang Jike forehand, the top form forehand that we've seen. This is the pace of game that I think we're going to be seeing as the match gets deeper.
Perhaps he's just a little sort of reticent to really unload on that forehand side, because when he does so in the past, maybe his sort of shoulder starts to ache. So perhaps he's holding back a little. Zhang Jike, come on. Get on with it, please, suggests the umpire.
Fang Bo really getting low for that, getting the legs and body into it right at the baseline of the table. And you can see how hard he's working for every shot. And talking to Don Parker the other day, he was bringing up Muhammad Ali in a fight, would hold his gloves up against George Foreman, let George Foreman hit him, and he would just take all the punches, block him until George Foreman got tired. And then after rounds and rounds, that's when Muhammad Ali started to fight. And it could be a similar strategy. Not sure if we see it that much in table tennis, but it does seem like Fang Bo is definitely working harder out there.
You would have thought that Zhang Jike would want to pummel through this match quickly, lay down a statement of intent from the off, and kind of really then get off the table, rest the shoulder up, and just chill for the final.
And I think you said it well with make a statement. I mean, that sends a message. Ma Long on the other side, 4-1 over Fan Zhendong, I believe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very, very imperious win that was. It was a sparkling performance from Ma Long.
Huge forehand crushing, waiting till the last moment to turn on the ball, and at a low height plays the short side of the table. Fang Bo can make shots like that, even with a 75% rate. I think Zhang Jike really has a lot to worry about in this match.
It was huge because it actually didn't sit up that high, but he got it to the top of the bounce and absolutely pulverized the forehand. Zhang Jike, though, looking unaroused, frankly.
Fang Bo finding the middle in the counter loop exchange. One of the things that's most impressive to me about this level of play is not only how hard they consistently hit the ball, that they can move out of an uncomfortable position, still hit the ball that hard, but with outstanding placement, like right into the body to precision on the other side of the table. Nothing inspires you to play more than watching these guys play.
Absolutely.
Well placed serve, tough to read. Again, not how much spin is on the ball always, but how difficult the contact is to read. And now it's another game point, 4 of them for Fang Bo to go up 2-0 over Zhang Jike. Chop block attempt. First game point saved by Zhang Jike. Backhand to backhand, Fang Bo starting to turn. Maybe Zhang Jike's feeling the pressure, but it's 11-7. Fang Bo taking game 2 over Zhang Jike, the world champion. Good match, Paul. It's getting good.
It is. It's livening up. Can't wait for game 3.
The score is 7-11. Fang Bo is taking the lead by 2.
And we're back for game 3, where Fang Bo is leading 2-0 over Zhang Jike. Quite an interesting situation we've got at hand, Paul.
Yeah, Zhang Jike for me is just he's too subdued. It just doesn't look right. I don't know what's up with him. He's about 3 out of 10 so far, performance-wise. That's not to take any credit away from Fang Bo, but he's playing very well, Fang. But Zhang Jike is kind of slow off the mark. Into game 3 then.
We haven't seen Fang Bo look very uncomfortable handling spin early in the point. Zhang Jike getting a little more wrist on it from over the table. And much like Fan Zhendong, Zhang Jike has a very strong backhand over the table. And he's able to take the ball low and spin it. There
Like
it is again.
that.
Exactly. This time even better out wide to the forehand side, and the fast feet of Fang Bo can't reach the ball. Look at the placement on that ball.
That's the signature backhand receive, isn't it?
Sure is. Ripping forehand, a little bit of break off the top of the net, but still Fang Bo is going 10 out of 10 every point. It's going to be a question of stamina and what he faces. If Zhang Jike can change strategy up, I mean, the change of pace hasn't been working too much so far. Smart play, leaves it a little long, stays open with the shoulders, makes you guess a little bit, could be going cross court, and then hits it right into the backhand side of the body.
Yeah, good back behind there from Zhang Jike. Been promising for him at the start of this 3rd game, and it kind of has to be. You feel really this is a must-win game for him.
That's right, but right now with shots like that, all it takes is one shot that's a little bit loose on the ends, and Fang Bo is going to step in and take advantage. Look how low he gets for that ball. Zhang Jike just a step behind, even reading where he's going to attack it. You're right, Paul. In many aspects of the game right now, Zhang Jike does not look fully there. And still there's a lot of pressure on Fang Bo to deliver. Maintain his lead of 2-0. 3-0 would be a significant confident booster for Fang Bo. You have to imagine psychologically coming into this match, he knows he's facing a very, very steep hill to climb. Beautiful
Found
recovery.
the edge. Yeah. So I'm asking myself, is it because maybe Zhang Jike is a little fatigued as well from the doubles late last night, emotionally? I don't know. That was a 4-2 win. It shouldn't have taken that much out of him.
Yeah, and with a full night's rest, you'd imagine he's recuperated a bit. He's used to these night after night tournaments.
Oh, brilliant reflexive backhand up the line there from Zhang, who does indeed hold on to his lead here of 2 points. But now service over to Fang Bo to attempt to level up here.
Left. 3-5.
That one seemed a little bit rushed. Fast shot with some good spin from Zhang Jike in the backhand corner. Fang Bo taking it a bit too far out in front. It's good that he's got the weight forward. I think both players are going to be trained to do that whenever they can.
Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it was going for a good angle, irrespective of whether it hit the net or not. Look at this. For that one, well, just ungettable.
Now, an interesting thing, this is more of a fun, like, stump the ump type situation, but if that ball hits the top of the net and then hits the clamp of the net, the gold part, and does not touch the surface of the table, it's out.
Not lucky in defense there from Fang Bo.
Right, and it's not so common we see Fang Bo get back in a fishing situation. It's interesting, as far as fishing goes, the European players tend to spin it up a little bit, creating more arc.
Yeah, I think of Yun Mizutani when you say fishing. He's the best at that, isn't he? Or
That's
one
definitely
of them,
his game.
certainly.
Yeah, the best in the game right now at the fishing and the defensive lobbing game.
Best rally of the match.
So far, for sure, and we saw several shots from ZHANG Jike that have really turned it up there. Fang Bo just answering everything right now. It's tough. We feel like we're not seeing ZHANG Jike at his best, but a lot of that is because of who's on the other side of the table. Fang Bo playing relentlessly. Can't stress it enough. I mean, he's missed a few shots here and there, but he's taking risks. He's going big. Even in the short game we've seen, that last ball that hit the top of the net and then was right near the clamp.
Indeed.
So Fang Bo trailing by 2 now with 2 serves ahead, 5-7. Clever idea, tries to play the short side of the table. The most impressive shot to me in that rally was the ball that Fang Bo had gotten set up for and had to recover quickly wide to the backhand. He was turning for the forehand. The reaction time, I said it once and I'll say it again, if I need a ride from anyone, I want a professional table tennis player driving my car. The opening shot was very clever. It was right off the bounce, put a lot of pressure on ZHANG Jike. Fang Bo, I think, is going to have to step in for the next forehand to take that ball. Just come in. You could see that the he had the opening on the forehand side, and ZHANG Jike was making his move, but staying one step back gave ZHANG Jike the time. Made the shot a little more difficult too.
10-5.
We're seeing more errors than we've seen from Fang Bo in these rallies. Of course, they're not easy shots, but he's made them look easy throughout the match. Now ZHANG Jike has 5 game points to get closer to leveling things out, put a game on the board.
Nice backhand redirection down the line then, so ZHANG Jike kind of ignites and wins the 3rd game, 11 points to 5. Stay with us for more action in the 4th game, coming up soon.
Has just made a comeback.
And as we come back for game 4, Fang Bo is leading 2 games to 1 over ZHANG Jike. ZHANG Jike winning his first 11-5 just last game. We've got some questions from Twitter. This comes from Tenis de Mesa Sur. Question is, do you agree we're seeing a more mature ZHANG Jike? Maybe that's why he's so, quote, calm. It's interesting. I mean,
it's a really interesting one. I'll get into that after they've played this point. I think that's a fascinating topic, actually. It's like he's suppressing everything, and as a consequence, the real ZHANG Jike hasn't really fully pitched up yet. I think we're only seeing about half of him at best. And I think that if he could just kind of let it rip and just let a roar out or something, then it might sort of ignite him, and then he just burst into flames and really start to show us what he's got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, from a calmness standpoint, I mean, his demeanor, when they close up on his face, that's the face we've been seeing for years from ZHANG Jike. When he plays, you mentioned he can really suppress emotion, and I think that's why he explodes after winning tournaments, because he's been saving up so much. So, is he more mature now? It's possible. But the calmness, that's just sort of his thing. Unbelievable power, full arm swings time and time again from Fang Bo. I mean, ZHANG Jike's got one of the hardest forehands in the world, and Fang Bo is really challenging him right now for that.
I mean, looking at that right there, for me, sort of typifies what's happened throughout this match. ZHANG Jike coming off second best off of his stronger wing. You know, that's a big forehand, as you declared, and he's losing a lot of those kind of points. That said, you've got to take your hat off to the man in the picture. Fang Bo playing some excellent ball right now.
Early in the point, he had some very fast shots to block, and he was comfortable with them. And as soon as there's just an inkling of an opening to turn and get that forehand into play, he explodes. It's very difficult to get ZHANG Jike on the defense, but Fang Bo has managed to do it successfully several times since the beginning of this match. Just outstanding play, counter loops inside and out. ZHANG Jike almost going into the splits to take this ball inside out with the forehand.
Amazing, relentless slugging from Fang Bo, and look at what it means to him. He's delighted with the way he's playing. He's just got to keep doing what he's doing. ZHANG Jike has to raise the bar to contest this, really. And this is a huge game in the grand scheme of things. Trailing 1-2 ZHANG Jike and 1-4 in this game, in this race to 4 games.
That one he was a little bit back and upright, going for the counter punch. He's been very good about keeping his weight forward, and ZHANG Jike really just pushing him around a little bit on that point. Just enough pressure to earn the shot barely off the back of the table. And at this towel break, there's another question here from TTAction.de. Please, can you say how many spectators are present in the hall? It's got to be somewhere close to 5,500. We're sold out. It looks like it's near capacity. A few open seats. Again, right off the bounce, so much power. These are high-risk shots.
Yeah, and it's all working for him. It's all working for him. Did you read the stat, Adam? The website, 823 million hits on the ITTF.com website. Wow.
And that's, say that number one more time.
823 million hits on the ITTF.com website.
I mean, by the end of tonight, we're looking at potentially 1 billion hits.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like
It's amazing.
Gangnam style numbers. This tournament could become the new viral sensation, takes over the world.
Phenomenal. Great work from behind the scenes, from all the organizing committees involved.
Right, more volunteers than any tournament in the past, I believe. Record-breaking tournament on almost every statistic. Right before that point, ZHANG Jike was warned about how much time he was taking on the serve. It's interesting. We were talking about where he goes, his happy place, things he does, little sort of ritualistic actions, and bouncing the ball on the racket. It takes a long time doing that right there. That's shocking. Fang Bo getting off the table a bit. Zhang Jike having a chance to move in and really control the point. What do you think's happening?
That's going down as an unforced error in my book, and by his lofty standards, he would be thinking exactly the same. But at the moment, for me, Fang Bo is on kind of like 9, 10 out of 10 table tennis. Zhang Jike, well, I kind of got him around the 3 or the 4 mark, and so there's only one way he can go, but is he going to run out of time here? That's the issue. Top edge.
For Fang Bo, this would be a huge accomplishment to move on to the men's singles finals. I know he hasn't gotten 3 games in yet, but he's looking closer and closer every point.
And it's going to be interesting to see if he has the mental skills himself to control himself, get this game in the belt, and, you know, can he then cross the finish line? Who knows?
Huge inside-out forehand again at the baseline of the table. Fang Bo working to stay in and really keep himself close. Keep himself as threatening as possible whenever possible. All the conversation's been about Zhang Jike and Ma Long. Everyone anticipating who do you think would win in the finals. And the question, the mental toughness of Zhang Jike is one thing that makes people question why the undefeated Ma Long would not win. And right now, the mental toughness seems to be an issue in the semifinals for Zhang Jike.
Fang Bo is just playing fearless.
4-8.
Fearless table tennis.
That time it looked like he made the decision a little bit late, was looking for the opening and changed his mind. When he gets the ball right off the bounce, like the touch, and he can leave the spin on the ball so short, it's very impressive. It's the hesitation that costs him. And this is something we haven't seen a lot about here. It's a very classic combination. Short to the forehand when the player's over the table. Hit it right back behind him, deep into the backhand corner. It's tough to get back out and set up for the shot.
Sensibly, he's called timeout. That's a very, very good call, because I thought that the last 2 mistakes were unforced errors and errors of tension, kind of concentration, lapse a little bit as well. So he's gone away from the scene to regroup and sort of just calm himself down and really, you know, get screwed in again to his best tactical ploys, Fang Bo, because he's doing a sterling job so far. But you feel, Adam, there's a long way to run yet in this match.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because Fang Bo, those last 2 points, they just didn't even seem characteristic. The percentages of points he's been really making all sorts of high-pressure shots. And then those last 2 almost felt like timing issues, or he just wasn't
schoolboy errors,
settled.
weren't they, really?
For him, and of course, again, he's playing against Zhang Jike, who's turning it up a notch. But still, Fang Bo, yeah, let's see how he comes back mentally, and if he's making a greater percentage of his shots, or if he's changing anything on his service receives or his backhand opening from over the table coming out of this timeout.
Must be like going up against a mentor figure for you, trying to beat, you know, trying to beat your idol in a way for Fang Bo.
And a little break off the top of the net. I think it was the second to last shot. The finishing shot quite deep on the table, some good pace. Now I hear people chanting for Fang Bo. Crowd seems to be a bit split.
Impartial, yep. Well, he'd been making them quite regularly for the first few games.
Right, I think that one he took a little bit later. The ball had dropped and the percentages had gone down by the time he contacted it. But still, bold plays, you said, fearless, Paul.
Yeah, and 2 serves of his own then, Zhang, to draw level. Oh, a heavy forehand on ball 3 from Zhang Jike.
It's interesting, the shot selection. Fang Bo going for the backhand. You could hear him grunting, really trying to put the pressure on early, and all that he spent on that shot, when it came back, he had to recover from, and had a little bit, sort of a more careless error on the follow-up shot to that. Now a 1-point game. I think whoever wins this game is going to have a huge advantage mentally. In at the table, he's fired up. You could see the fist pump and the hard show. Still no eye contact with his opponent, but he was in over the table until the moment that ball was touched and quickly pulled back. The speed of his hand, just amazing.
That was a huge point, you feel, in the grand scheme of things here. You can almost feel the pivot under this match right now. And it's just shifted the way of Fang Bo. Can he convert now with 2 game point opportunities for this 4th game to go 3-1?
It's an opening for him. He's made counterattacks like that throughout this match. ZHANG Jike playing the shorter side of the table, the forehand. And it just catches the edge of the blade for Fang Bo. But again, playing fearless, going for the shots. If he can keep up this play, not go timid, he might finish it right now.
There's nobody else in the world in this situation that you'd rather have on your side right now than ZHANG Jike. Big moment.
Oh! The fast long serve was to the middle. Seemed like it got a little away, got a little bit high, but still the counterattack from Fang Bo under pressure, and he takes it 11-9 to go up 3-1 over ZHANG Jike, the world champion 2 times. We'll see after this if Fang Bo ends the dreams of a 3-peat for ZHANG Jike. Stay with us. And we are back for Game 5 in the semifinals of men's singles here at the Coros 2015 World Table Tennis Championships. The unexpected Fang Bo to even be playing this match is leading 3-1 over the standing world champion ZHANG Jike.
And ZHANG Jike has been kind of on the back foot time and again throughout this match. Fang Bo just bullying him into submission.
It's really tough to tell where Fang Bo is going to go with that ball. Sort of wraps around the outside of it for a little side spin. Looking down at the equipment, we see that from time to time, but as a player, you don't want to be worrying about trusting what you're holding.
A workman never blames his tools, does he? And is that the first sign of a glimmer of cobwebs of self-doubt tying him up?
And on that opening backhand, it doesn't seem like much self-doubt, and he takes 2 more shots after the third, the finisher. Sounded like a little bit of miscontact. Fang Bo apologizing. You know, we've seen ZHANG Jike with his back against the ropes against Samsonov at the German Open just about a month ago. Came back from way down. I believe it was 3-0.
Left. 1, 2.
Have to check on that. Either way, ZHANG Jike's had some big comebacks in his time. Fronting forehand down the middle from Fang Bo. Tied up at 2 points each again. It's now or never for ZHANG Jike, and this is the one for Fang Bo. He does not want to have to play another game after this against this man. You know, ZHANG Jike has only lost 1 match in World Table Tennis Championships from the teams and the singles in his entire career.
Whoa, what a stat that is.
And it's to Dmitry Ovtcharov last year in Tokyo, 3-0, but other than that, in singles, he's never lost a match, not yet. We see the stress working in, blowing the cheeks out. Different strategies here to try and stay cool and calm. We'll see if it is maturity, and if the maturity comes in a little bit too late, or if it shows up now, because he doesn't have much time, Paul.
And I just think I'd like to see ZHANG Jike just go for it a little bit more. He just seems sort of, I don't know, stifled and very contained.
Right, we're used to seeing him, I mean, Ma Long, some of the most powerful shots in the world, some of the fastest feet in the world, and the counter-looping rallies that they have. Zhang Jike is able to bring the ball back, you know, 5-6 times consistently throughout rallies. Here, Fang Bo is finishing the rallies much quicker. Top of the net and out, and it's a little lead early on for Zhang Jike. And it seems that the spin Fang Bo is getting, even when he's playing the ball from near the middle of his body on that step around forehand, the second one here, so much spin. Zhang Jike just not able to stay over it. He's not anticipating it, and we see him stretching out the arm a bit. Could be a factor.
Deceptive backhand receive, just sort of oodling with spin, deviating up and down very, very quickly and just hanging there. But Fang Bo taking his eye off the ball, I think, hence the miss.
Excellent pressure. Fang Bo from down low off the table, even out in front on the backhand side. Every single shot he is working for, able to get so much spin with that wrist. That shot right there below the table, winning the point from behind. So now it's just a 1-point game. Zhang Jike, chance to take back the 2-point lead.
Let 6-5.
Those rocket backhands from Zhang Jike. Fang Bo seems to have the answer. He's earning his chances. Gets the big forehand opportunity here. His percentages are still very high with that shot. A little bit surprised to see him miss it there. Again, the pressure is a little bit different now. Sometimes crossing the finish line for many people is the most difficult thing to do in any accomplishment.
It's the hardest thing to do, Adam, to hit winners in a leading situation. In any sport.
Let 5-7.
Fast long serve. He's playing risky. He's done it a few times. The first point of the match, and he's really capitalizing on the third ball here.
Very courageous from Fang Bo. You have to doff your cap to him.
This one's long and fast, not quite as fast. Zhang Jike just teeing off. Very unusual. I mean, we're looking puzzled here in the commentators' booth.
Yes, we are.
Why? The shot selection, very curious performance from Zhang Jike on that point.
Let 7-all. Let
Nerves throughout the room, tension building. Enough tension to tighten the net. Break off the top of the net, and this is what happens. We were talking about it earlier. If you take it easy in theory early on, Late in the game, all it takes is an edge ball, a net ball here and there. Suddenly you're down at the very business end of the match.
Yep, it can shift in a heartbeat, can't it? This game, this match. So now ZHANG Jike is elected to use his timeout wisely. He's trailing 3-1 and 8-7 down.
You know, he lost the last 3 points, and we saw the most memorable one was that slapping backhand on that long serve.
Yeah, strange choice.
We see play like that from someone when they're down 10-1, when they're ready to move on to the next game. ZHANG Jike obviously cannot afford to do that. You know, and as far as balls at catching the net or the edge, match point for Fang Bo against Xu Xin. It was an outstanding point. It was a great shot either way. Clipped the edge of the table as well.
And all you can think is, you know, I mean, Zhu Xin declared after his men's doubles win last night with ZHANG Jike, you know, yes, I've won the mixed, yes, I've won the men's doubles, but I really wanted that singles, says Zhu. So they feel the same way. ZHANG Jike, I'm sure, is highly motivated. Maybe he's just sort of bound up with tension. You just don't know. But certainly hasn't really brought his A game today. Perhaps he just simply hasn't been allowed.
And after another break off the top of the net, the recovery is ZHANG Jike's, and Fang Bo can't take the point.
But I mean, you know, even there he wins the point, but it wasn't the explosive backhand that we usually see from ZHANG Jike, and he was just sort of nodding his head in.
Right, mentally, you feel like if you're ZHANG Jike, you really want to be winning the points with power. You want to be winning them with authority and confidence. There it is, the counter from the middle. Early on in the match, we saw him having trouble with that shot. Fang Bo keeping so much pace on the ball. ZHANG Jike anticipating and right out to the open court.
Brilliant reflexive table tennis from ZHANG Jike there. Very alert on that occasion.
This is what's made him a threat to Ma Long so many years. Shots like that, how do you get back for him? You can't.
Let.
Very faint let.
8,
Is the
9.
giant waking from his slumber?
That ball left too high, it was sure spinny, but Fang Bo teeing off batting practice on that ball right into the middle.
It was pretty deep though, the receive. It wasn't untidy at all, but Fang Bo just having to go for it.
Right, when we say too high, from the next camera angle, you can see too high is not very high. At this level, again, in inches a mile. To scale, of course. We're tied up at 9 points each. ZHANG Jike in the driver's seat with 2 serves, the last 2 of this game. And he loses the point outright. It is match point for Fang Bo to do the unthinkable and deny the audience the Clash of the Titans final that everybody's been talking about for weeks. Can Fang Bo make a guest appearance, a surprise appearance in the finals? Just missing the back edge. ZHANG Jike, when the pressure is on, punching it deep cross court. The crowd completely behind this match. Again, half of them seem to be rooting for Fang Bo, half for ZHANG Jike. We're at deuce in game 5.
I'm astonished that we're even in this situation.
Will Fang Bo have another look at match point? This is his chance. Chance to earn one right now at deuce. Huge forehand, he's earned it, and that time there was the stare. He looked him right in the eyes. That's actually a sign of confidence for me that Fang Bo hasn't shown. He's shown in his play, but that look in the eyes is really sending a message. Second match point for Fang Bo to pull off an incredible upset. another rocket backhand, and Fang Bo, 4 games to 1 at deuce in the 5th, has knocked out the Giant. End of the dream. No three-peat for ZHANG Jike, and we will have a new world champion in men's singles this year. It will be Chinese Fang Bo versus Chinese Ma Long. And I'll bet you right now, after Xu Xin has been knocked out and ZHANG Jike has been knocked out, Ma Long is sweating mentally. Paul, what a match.
I'm absolutely